what that looks like is this. A typical simple organization chart. You've got the board of directors there and the chief executive officer. Now, I said on the earlier slide the board of directors is the highest authority, which is generally true from a management standpoint. However, you could argue that owners, so people like you and me who own a piece of a company, actually have a higher authority to the board than the board of directors. That is because we can sell. If we don't like the way that a company is going, if we have a little piece of McDonald's company, if we own a share of McDonald's stock, and we don't think they're doing well, and we sell McDonald's stock and buy Burger King instead, we're basically voting with our money that we don't like the way that the company is going. And ultimately, the board of directors, chief executive officer are all going to have to answer for that. That is, if that happens on a broad enough scale across enough investors, they're going to probably get fired or be replaced. So yes, ultimately they are responsible to the owners. The same way that the president might be the very highest level of government, but he is still subject to the voters. He does not have any power if people are not willing to vote for him, in aggregate. And then you can see how this organizational charts will split down beforehand. So if this is your first business class, this will give you a pretty good idea as to the way the businesses operate. And if you've had a job, you're probably pretty familiar with the way that this looks. You've got your local tasks, and your local tasks, you probably have your local accountant that will capture the financial information of those local tasks. The plant accountants will report directly to the controller, and the controller report directly to the chief financial officer. So the controller is the one that handles all of the internal operational information about the financials of the operations of the company. So the controller knows how much it costs for the blender company to make each blender and what the blenders are selling for. The treasurer is the one that manages company money. So every company has got cash and investments that they had to make available for operations, and they have to make available for debt service payments, and they have to use for a variety of things. And the treasurer is the one that makes sure that the cash is there when you need it. So imagine the treasurer being the guy sitting behind the desk at the bank, and the controller goes to him and says, I need more cash to pay this bond payment that we owe this week, or I need more cash because they want to build a new factory in Tulsa. And the treasurer sells assets they might have to get the cash available, or just uses available cash. So this is the financial operations of the company. Both of those people will report to the chief financial officer, who in turn will report to the chief executive officer. So the vice president of ethics, business unit managers, human resources, information services, those guys have to worry about accounting information in terms of how it affects their departments, but they don't have to be responsible for the accounting information company-wide. That's really the chief financial officer's job.